Right, I am packaging the blend that I roasted while I was at the commissary kitchen. It's called Just Right, inspired by the Swedish word lagom, meaning not too much, not too little, just right. I did a smaller batch of this at the kitchen because breakfast blends don't seem to be like the biggest seller, but I still like to have it to offer because some people do like it. You know, I had it offered before, so I hate to like take something away. My family might end up getting a lot of it as gifts, but that's okay for now. I am going to do 2 short roasts. Our dark roast Honduras Comadanta and our decaf. Decaf is interesting though. A lot of people have big feelings about it. I don't. There's only a few different like successful methods of decaffeinating, removing the caffeination from coffee beans. One, which was the main way up until like fairly recently, using a fairly harsh chemical that was ruled a carcinogen. I can't remember the name of it, but if I find it, I'll write it at least. And that basically stripped the caffeination out of the beans. Another way is the Swiss water decaf. I might butcher this, but I think it's basically using like pressure from water and like moving it around multiple ways to then like separate the caffeine and remove the water that is holding the caffeine, so you're left with just the beans that are decaffeinated. There's lots of great resources. In fact, I'll link some of those below, people who can explain it much better than I. The third method is sugarcane process. It's a really good system for a lot of countries, especially Colombia, because they produce a lot of sugarcane. They then take a sugar alcohol from the sugarcane and use that to remove the caffeine from the beans, leaving you with decaffeinated coffee beans. So it's safe, it's natural, it also is like just another way to boost their economy because it's another way to use the sugarcane that they're producing and create the decaffeinated coffee product that we all want to buy. I'm not wholly opposed to anything. From what I understand, minimizing the use of chemicals, like the harsh chemical that they used to use, tends to preserve the flavor of the coffee bean. So that's basically what I would base my choosing off of. Also, I mean, we just try to avoid chemicals when possible. So some people have a problem with decaf coffee. They think it's not real coffee, which is fine. I like decaf coffee. Sometimes I want coffee and I don't want caffeine. I've been pregnant 3 times, you know, like there was 9-month periods when, yeah, I could have caffeine, but I really wanted coffee and it was a great way to supplement so that I didn't overdo the caffeine when I shouldn't be having too much. Some people are just highly sensitive to caffeine for, you know, medical reasons, whatever it may be. I think it's a great option to have because coffee, like we have been saying, coffee is more than just a means to get by. It's more than just a drink. It's really a ritual. It's a culture. It's an experience. So if coffee is important to you and you can't have caffeine, I definitely think that you should be able to have decaf coffee. So that's why, even though decaf isn't our biggest seller, we do make sure to have it offered. There was a podcast that I listened to a while ago and I can't quite remember the name, but if I can find it, I will also post that. But they were basically interviewing, I think, either a roaster or a cafe owner, and just asking like, is it worth it to have decaf on your menu? And the one guy said, no, it's not, you know, decaf drinkers are not real coffee drinkers. It's not worth it. It's not the biggest seller. It's a waste of money to take space with decaf. And the other guy argued, actually, the people who come in here and ask for decaf coffee are the truest coffee drinkers because they're not doing it just for the caffeine buzz. they love the flavor of coffee, and hopefully specifically your coffee. So it's definitely worth having decaf. You should definitely cater to decaf drinkers because they are like hardcore true coffee lovers. And I agree, and I'm always gonna offer decaf. We also started doing our half calf blend, day and night, inspired by the Swedish term DYGN. Don't know that that's how you pronounce it. DYGN, I believe. DYGN translates to 1 day and night period. So we call it day and night because you can drink it both day and night because it's half the calf. Growing up, when we had like a birthday or something where our grandparents would come over for dinner, my dad would serve coffee with dessert, and he would usually do like a half pot of decaf and a half pot of regular because some people wanted decaf and some people wanted regular. The older people usually wanted decaf, but you know. But half calf is a great option to cater to both, and it's nice like if you have to drive home, even if it's just like 20-30 minutes and you just want like just a little wake-up call, that half calf is the perfect amount. All coffee drinkers are welcome here. All right, that's all bagged. I'm sure my roaster is heated. Gosh. Anyway, I am going to start roasting. Today I'm going to make kombucha. I'm gonna get that started. I think it takes about a month in total before you have kombucha that you can actually drink or that you'd actually want to drink. So we'll start it today, and hopefully in a month I will be able to enjoy it. I started sourdough bread yesterday, so I actually have the dough done, but I'm going to activate my sourdough starter again today, and I'll show you how I do that and what that's like. I made some cookie dough last night. I really like this recipe by Half Baked Harvest. These cookies, you can use whole wheat flour, and I think that's a big win. No one even notices. They all like them. I like her recipes generally. Sometimes they're a little too expensive for me. I just don't have time. But I like to check them out. The banana muffins I'm making today are also from Half Baked Harvest. They are actually cottage cheese banana chocolate chip peanut butter muffins or something. I'm always looking for a way to get more protein into the kids, so I'm gonna give these a shot too. Yeah. Crazy. Get the muffins going first. Blender. Go, shoo, get down. So it says to blend the cottage cheese until whipped. And it's a half cup of cottage cheese. Good enough for me. Now I'm gonna mash up the bananas. Mash bananas. Mash bananas. And I guess it's nice if this is going in the blender, then they don't have to be like beautifully, smoothly mashed, right? Hey, get off of the counter, my love. Finley. Okay, so cottage cheese and then bananas.
Yeah.
Banana.
Oh,
Finley. Yeah, can I have that? Thank you. peanut butter, coconut oil, maple syrup. All right, so
What was that?
peanut butter. You know that.
Yay!
Hey, honey, this isn't your performance right now, okay? Can you scoot over?
Okay.
Please be careful.
Okay.
That was coconut oil. Yes. Oh, honey. It's coconut. It's a different container of coconut oil. Coconut oil. So, coconut oil, maple syrup, syrup, a fourth cup of maple syrup. And do we do the eggs right now or do we wait? Yep, eggs and vanilla. Okay. I just finished off 2 containers of stuff. I love when that happens. All right, and then eggs and vanilla.
Hey. Papa, I coffee. Hi.
The only complaint I have about some of the recipes from this blog from Happy Harvest is she calls for like a ton of vanilla in pretty much every recipe, and vanilla is obviously pretty expensive, so I never use the full amount. Like she called for, I think, a tablespoon. Yeah, a tablespoon of vanilla extract between like 16 muffins. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do like a teaspoon because, you know, vanilla is a luxury anyway. Right? Blend to fully combine, and then we add the flour, baking soda, and salt. Yeah. Finally,
I'm done.
1.5 cups of flour.
Fire. Hi.
Once again, hey, get out of the way, girlfriend. Do you want to get down?
No.
Okay. Once again, whole wheat flour, so that makes me happy.
Fire.
Flour.
No more that.
Flour.
Fire.
Baking soda.
Salt.
Salt. Salt. Finley, you have to get out of the way. Get down. And you get out of here. Oh, I didn't set the timer for the cookies. Oh, what is wrong with me? Get down. All right, so it's all blended together. It looks consistent. So yeah, I'll show you this. I think I will sprinkle the chocolate chips just like on top and stuff because it says to fold them in, but like my blender isn't like that easy to do that with, so I'm not going to do that. And I will include this recipe in the comments in case you want to give it a try. I definitely recommend checking out Half Baked Harvest, her site and her recipes. She has some great cookbooks. Yeah, I mean, and like her Instagram account is wonderful to look at, especially if you want something special like a seasonal recipe or a fall baked good or something. Yeah? It's probably gonna take a while. So yeah, I guess this is like the main issue with the blender muffin is like this is kind of annoying. I've never done like a blender baked good, I guess. Alright, so I definitely filled those way too much. So redo. No more, okay? Okay. Muffins. And how long do these bake for? 20 to 22 minutes. moving on to kombucha. Make tea concentrate by boiling 4 cups of water. Once boiling, turn off the heat and steep your loose leaf tea for 15 minutes. So, 4 cups of water. I'm gonna use the English breakfast. So yeah, how much? 2 to 3 tablespoons. So we're boiling the water, we're adding the tea, we're letting it steep, we're straining out the tea leaves, and then stirring in sugar. It says organic or non-organic cane sugar is fine, but honey, brown sugar, molasses, stevia, aspartame, or any other non-sugar or any other sugar substitutes or sweeteners will not work. The bacteria and yeast need cane sugar to eat and reproduce. Interesting. Okay. I will also post this link in the comments too, because this seems like a really great kombucha starting resource. Okay. My camera died. Battery died. But I boiled the water and added the tea to the pot. So now it's steeping, and while it's steeping and the muffins are finishing baking, I thought I would show you my sourdough bread. And then you can see the kombucha go into its primary fermentation vessel. And that will be it. So, okay. This is my bread dough that I started this morning. This is my sourdough starter. I've had the sourdough starter since January. I have tried to get sourdough starter going for like probably at least 3 or 4 times over the last almost 10 years. This one I've had since January, so it's like 9 months old. It's very exciting for me. His name is Alan. Oh, ow. Last night I activated the starter by pouring some of the starter out, called discard, and then I added equal parts flour and water. So I add 120 grams of both flour and water, and then I let it sit, and you see it rise, and ideally you want it to double in height in 6 hours. And then once it reaches its like maximum height, it will then start to go back down in volume. And that is the ideal time to use it for bread. In a perfect world, I try to do that. It doesn't always work. Like last night, I just let it sit overnight, so I'm sure I didn't hit the mark on that one, but I still made bread dough out of it, and it looks fine. I'm gonna do some stretch and folds and transfer it to its proofing bowl, I guess you could say. It's not official, it's just a glass bowl with parchment paper in it. And I bake it in my Dutch oven. This was a gift from my mother-in-law, I think like shortly after Elliot and I got married. Or no, it was before we got married actually, because I brought it to Maine. The Dutch oven is amazing. When the muffins are done, I'm gonna preheat the oven to 500 degrees. Sourdough bakes at a really high heat. I'm gonna stick my Dutch oven empty into the oven, let it preheat, and that'll help it bake more consistently and better. And bonus, I'm going to reuse the parchment paper. What I'll usually do, I don't always use it, but I either pour the discard just into the trash, but I think that hurts everyone's soul a little bit, so I'll pour it into just another jar, and I'll try and use the discard for like pizza dough or crackers or something. Once again, it doesn't always happen. I'm not gonna lie. Like discard until you have about 1/3 of a cup left in your starter. I never measure it anymore. I think in the first month or so, it's important to measure and get a really steady, strong starter down. After that, I think, whatever is fine. White flour. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that around and until it's just make sure that there's no dry flour out still. But I use a napkin or a cloth while it's rising. It needs a little bit of airflow, so it'll go from here basically to the very top, and then it'll start to come down again. Oh, what happened? Oh, great. No touch, very hot. These are going very hot. Can you say 500?
5.
Very good. Dutch oven into the oven. Yeah. Let that preheat. Look out, Charlie. Charlie, no. Charlie has an issue with parchment paper. She tries to attack it and bite it and eat it whenever she hears it. Stretch and fold. Stretch. Literally just like stretch it out and then like fold it back in on itself. Let it rest for a minute and then do it again. I try to do it like 3 times and then I transfer it into parchment paper. I'm gonna put a lid on this for now and decide if I'll use this later. Okay. All right, and the kombucha, or the tea that's going to be kombucha, has 3 more minutes to sit. Yeah. Look at that. Looks good. So this part I kind of try and like roll it into more of a bread shape and gently plop it in there. So here's how it looks right now. It's gonna set for like another 40 minutes about. Thank you, honey. Set for another 40 minutes or so, and then I flour the top, and I'm going to score the top too. Transfer it to the Dutch oven and let it bake. I let it bake for 30 minutes with the lid on, and then I take the lid off for the last 35 minutes, or sorry, for the last 5 minutes. 35 minutes total. You should really let it cool completely before you cut it. Elliot usually doesn't do that. He usually cuts right into it. I'm just gonna guesstimate a little bit. I know it said not to, but that's pretty darn close.
What?
Stir that in, make sure it's all dissolved. Got my trusty strainer. It smells really good. Whoops. Watch out. You're not gonna be happy. Get out of here. Ugh. Ugh. Camera died again, but I got cleaned up. Here's the kombucha. Nice pretty color. And I covered it with cheesecloth and a rubber band. I'm going to get the bread ready to go in the oven. So I'm going to put a little flour on it. Okay, and I'm going to score the top with my handy dandy razor. I'm going to take the Dutch oven out. Alright. Bread paper. And I did finish the muffins. The kids already had one each and loved them, asked for more. So that's great. And I even forgot to put in the chocolate chips. So they didn't say anything. So awesome. No one will know that there's cottage cheese in these. And apparently they're delicious. So I'll try them myself later and follow up on that. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna wait for the bread to be done and clean up my big old messes. So we'll see you next time. Did you like the muffins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Me too.
Good.
Why do you want to ask?
I just want to know what you thought of them.
And then we got to have it
Tomorrow.
I'm going to do it today. This is my name, Grump. I'm very grumpy.
Grump. That's cute. Very nice. What did you make, Joe?
His name is Sleepyhead.
Sleepyhead, yeah.
His name's Boo. His name's Smiley.
Nice.
He likes to smile, and he also likes to smile. His name's Grumphead.
Yep.
And his name's Cryhead.
Oh, yeah, I see.
His name's